Hey guys, I'm Becky from Book Bite Reviews, and today we're talking about all the books that I read in the month of June. As per usual, this video is coming very late, so let's just hop right into it. As always, we will be starting with the lowest rating and moving our way up to the 5 stars. The lowest rating this month was 3 stars. Our one and only 3-star is Something is Killing the Children, Volume 1 by James Tynion IV. I really did enjoy this comic. I really liked the art style. I love how dark and disturbing it is. It's about these monsters that live in the forest that is killing children, and we have this monster hunter who comes to save them. Now, since this is only volume 1, it is very short. We just get introduced to the beginning cast so far, and I felt at the end of this that it was not amazing, but not awful. I felt very medium about this book, which is why it's getting 3 stars. I don't know if I'm going to continue on and read the next volume, or if I'm just going to say that was fun. It's one that I would definitely recommend you pick up for yourself, but I'm just not sure where exactly my future is with the series. Next up is our 4-star books. The first one is The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. This was my book club pick this month, and I really expected to like this one a lot more. I did enjoy it. I really liked the plot, and I loved getting to know the characters, but I just felt like it almost seemed a little bit too juvenile, which is something I wasn't expecting from the Simon-verse. I felt like Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda was very mature, and I didn't expect this one to be so angsty. I did really enjoy it, but unfortunately it just wasn't my favorite. I definitely enjoy Simon a whole lot more. Next is Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. This is a book that I received for review from Edelweiss. I was really excited to read this. It gave me a lot of red, white, and royal blue vibes, so if you loved that book, you might want to check this one out too. I will say that compared to red, white, and royal blue, this one is a lot more serious, a lot more realistic. I was kind of looking for that fluffy, happily ever after vibe that red, white, and royal blue gave me, but this was still really enjoyable. I loved all the snark. Our main character is amazing and exactly what I look for in a main character. I loved how sarcastic he is and self-depreciating, and overall it was a really good book. And the last 4-star is one that was a pretty big surprise to me. It was The Harvest Man by Alex Grecian. This was my Rub Club pick for the month, and I didn't expect to like this book a lot. This is an adult mystery crime thriller that I don't exactly know when it was written, but I feel like it was written some time ago. It's definitely nothing that I would have picked up on my own, nothing that is normally in my to-read pile or would probably ever make it to a TBR, but I was assigned it and I read it and I actually really enjoyed it. But it was actually really good and really intriguing. I found that it was a really good book to just listen to while doing other things and have something playing in the background. And I really loved our characters. I really got to know them and connect with them, and I want to know more. I think if you're a fan of the show The Alienist, you'll really like this book. And now moving on to our 5 stars. First up is Dewdrop by Katie O'Neill. This is a children's graphic novel about an ocelot who cheers on their friends during a sports competition. It was really cute. I loved the art style. Anything by Katie O'Neill I will check out, and this was not a disappointment. Next was Clyde by Jen Benton. This was another children's graphic novel about a bear who is on a journey to be bad and make it to Grizzly Town. This book was so sarcastic and funny and just lighthearted. I really had a good time reading this. Next is Black History in Its Own Words by Ron Wimberly. This is a collection of artwork that Ron did for a magazine that he worked for. It was really cool. I love his art style, and it was really cool because the artwork is all figures in African American history. And while the artwork was really cool and it was cool to read their quotes, he also included a little paragraph for each artwork explaining who that person was and why they're important to history. And it was something that I feel like is a really great start if you are looking to educate yourself more about Black history. I thought this was a fantastic book and one that I highly recommend. I really love his artwork, so it was so cool to see this whole collection. Next up is The Rest of the Story by Sarah Dessen. I really enjoy Sarah Dessen books. I feel like they are very classic and easy to read, and a really good book to use to read in between my darker fantasy paranormals. This book did not disappoint. It takes place during the summer and deals with a romance, and I just loved it. Next is a book that I've been wanting to read for a long time. That was Sadie by Courtney Summers. I did pick up the audiobook because that is what is highly suggested when reading this book, and I also agree. It has a full cast. It was really, really interesting and absolutely amazing. I do wish, though, that it was, I don't know if I want to say like darker or what. I don't really know. Even though I love this book and I'm giving it 5 stars, I still feel like there was something missing that didn't make me just like lose my mind over this book. I don't foresee it being on my top 10, but I still really loved it. Next is The Boundless by Anna Bright. This book was really, really good. Whereas book 1 really focuses on romance, book 2 really focuses on the adventure and this terrible situation that our characters get themselves into. I really loved it. If you are a fan of adventure with like a side of romance, then this one is going to be perfect for you. I do wish that there was more romance, but I love the way the book ends. It ends very satisfying and very realistic, and it was just a great conclusion. Next up is another book that I've been meaning to read for such a long time, and it is What If It's Us by Becky Ebertalli and Adam Silvera. You guys, I cannot believe I waited so long to read this book. All of the hype that this book has gotten was so worth it. I loved every second of this book. It had me laughing, it had me crying, it had me feeling overwhelming joy, and I just loved it. The ending is super realistic, and I feel like it leaves enough room where if they decided to do another book later on down the road, it could totally happen. I really hope that that's what is going to happen, but overall this was amazing and I'm so happy I finally picked it up. And last but not least is my favorite book of the month, which was The Flatshare by Beth O'Leary. I really wasn't expecting to love this book that much, but I just loved it. I listened to it on audio and had an amazing experience. I found the entire thing to be so intriguing. Every time I stopped reading this book, I wanted to pick it up immediately. It was so good, and I loved all of the messages behind it. I love that it talks about unhealthy relationships and wasn't just a fluffy romance. Alright guys, those are all the books that I read in the month of June. Definitely leave a comment down below telling me if you have read any of these and what you thought of them. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, to please give it a thumbs up. If you loved it and you want to see more bookish content from me, please hit subscribe. And if you want to be notified as soon as my videos go live here on YouTube, hit the notification bell. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!